Rosenbaum. Here. William Murphy. Let's see, Billy. Greg Andrews.
Present.
Stephen Rychek.
Present.
James Huguenard.
Present.
Solid Southwick.
I'm here on Zoom,
I see you,
but I'm
Solid.
trying to fix my camera.
Thank you. And GB won't be joining us tonight, right?
Correct. She's unavailable.
And then, Chief, if I could have you introduce your folks present.
Present is myself, Chief Ray Schultz from the Memorial Villages Police Department. Also present is Priscilla Gonzalez, Administrative Assistant to the Board of Police Commissioners, and Commander Brian Baker from the Patrol Division. And joining us on Zoom is Victoria Bowman, Finance Manager.
Thank you.
Bill Bonecker, Olson Olson Legal Team. Joining us online is also Christine Halo.
Correct. And citizens present.
I'm John Nix,
John, nice to meet you.
speaking as a private citizen.
Nice to meet you.
Andrew Port.
That's got everybody. So why don't we move on to item A on the agenda, citizen comments.
Am I the first or?
You are.
Here you are.
Okay. My name is John Nix, and I have pictures of my problem and an email that went unanswered to the chief and to the mayor here of an abandoned vehicle number 181. On Mondays, I travel down where I have to go down Blaylock over where I come down I just now remembered y'all who said that's for my address. My mailing address is 448 West 19th Street, PNB 832, Houston, Texas, 77008. I travel on Mondays to go to a group that I'm with between 10 and 2 that I have to go down Blaylock, go like Echo Lane to Terry Crest and down Blaylock. Ever since I've started going, I've always seen vehicle number 181 like abandoned there. There's no movement. It's very dusty. It has a little gravel thing there on it. Even Google Street View that went through there in July has seen it, and it's like clearly abandoned. No markings, no nothing on there. And even under state law, it's clearly abandoned, because it has to be, if it's on the side of the road, even 48 hours. It could be there, and even a local agency that has jurisdiction here in the village here, like Precinct 5, or like the Harris County Sheriff's Office or Metro PD or any of the others, could pick up the vehicle under as an abandoned highway, abandoned vehicle, and then go through the process. And that's an issue that I have. It looks trashy, it's very dusty, it's abandoned. I see it every Monday when I go to a group. Of course, I'm not speaking with the group. I'm speaking as a private citizen that drives down that road. I would expect if I left my vehicle here, or if I left my vehicle in that same spot, after 48 hours, that the chief, that you would tow that vehicle, put it in your possession, and then, if I didn't respond, that you would sell the vehicle. So I'm asking for y'all to fix it, tow the vehicle, see how many other vehicles are in the 3 villages, and get this taken care of. I have video with timestamps that I did with my phone on it to get this issue resolved. I didn't do a full screen, but I did it on there, and it's right there in Blaylock, like if you're going south, coming from I-10, going towards that Presbyterian church. And like I said, I'm a private citizen. I'm not with any group. I want to make sure that's clear. And if I have any extra time, I would encourage, to make sure the police force is fully trained in the communication impediment. And for people with autism, I'm a level 2 autistic and have ADHD. I want to make sure, not a lot of officers are trained in it. And when I went through and saw all the specialized training, I did not see that on your website as well. And that's desperately, concerns that I have for me, even though, the training is out there for that. So that was my concern, addressing of that as a abandoned vehicle and more autism training. And that's kind of how I came for y'all today. And that's what I have to talk to you on. I wish y'all have a great rest of your meeting. And God bless Texas, and go team, whatever team you're rooting for.
Well, thank you very much. We have noted your comments. Under the Open Meetings Act, we can't really...
Right, I know. I'm very, very familiar with it. I've spoken at many other lot larger government meetings than this.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll get on the chief.
Right. And I have no clue how many other abandoned vehicles are in the 3 villages that make up the Memorial Villages PD.
No, but thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
And, what do we need to do? I think we'll take it under advisement, Phil. And,
Sure.
okay. And you're welcome to stay for the rest of the
Sure,
meeting.
I'm planning on it. Made the drive all the way out here, back over here
All right.
for y'all.
Prepare to be fascinated.
Sure. I've attended much smaller government meetings than this.
Great. Well, thank you for your comments. All right. Moving on to the item B, the approval of minutes. Everybody had a chance to
We have somebody
peruse.
else who wants to speak? You want to speak?
No, sir.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at them? Any questions? Solace?
Nope, I would move that.
You
we
can have
approve
it.
the minutes as submitted.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes from last meeting, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item C, the financial report. I see you up there, Victoria.
I am here.
How are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon, everyone. I will be brief. We have 1 month left in the fiscal year. We utilized 85% of the budget. There have been no significant changes since last month that has altered the year-end outlook. However, there are 2 issues that will be discussed later in the meeting that will change the projection next month. One is 2 resignations that will result in an additional $14,000 payout due to accrued leave. And the other one is a contract request. Based on the current estimates, we should be able to handle both of these developments without the need for additional funding. And that completes my update for this month.
Anybody have any questions for Victoria?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on, keeping Victoria here, to the investment policy.
Okay, before you is the current investment policy. There have been no legislative updates since 2019. Therefore, no updates to the current policies are being requested. I'm requesting that the board approve the current policy for adoption, as the law requires that the policy is reviewed and adopted each year.
Everybody get a chance to look through that? There are no updates.
And if I may add, I attended the PFIA training last week. I do alternating 2-year terms with Victoria. Everything remains the same. We remain in compliance as well. The main thing is it's reviewed annually, and then the quarterly investment reports that Victoria includes with her monthly.
Well, up to speed. So we need to approve.
Let me ask you, Phil, we just approved a new investment policy at Bunker Hill.
Okay.
I don't know, did you have a chance to look at this one as compared to the Bunker Hill?
I didn't look at this as compared to Bunker Hill, no. I did
Okay.
review this for compliance under chapter 2256 and it complies.
Okay,
But I didn't do a comparison with other policies for the other villages. No.
and has the finance committee?
Yeah, that would be more of
looked
a
at this as well?
finance.
We did previously.
It's the same investment criteria as last year that we approved.
Thank you.
With that, a motion would be appropriate.
I move that we approve the investment policy as presented, dated 12/8/25.
Second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Victoria, for putting on all that work. Thank you.
Thank you, you're welcome.
All right. B2, the Flock Premium Solution.
Kayla, can I share a screen?
Yes.
So if you remember last month, we had some discussions on looking at expanding our use of flock safety technologies. And what has happened since that meeting when they did the presentation last month, the folks from Flock, they've turned on some of the additional features that I've had a chance to play with and use to see what type of value added that this gives us. It gives us quite a bit of value added. One is it links in to the new Peregrine contract that we have for data source management and bringing all your different data sources together. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we've used that in the last 2 weeks with these burglary investigations that we've been investigating at Piney Point and Hunters Creek. And basically what the Peregrine allows us to do is pull information from all the different data sources that we use without having to sign in and do individual searches. And it uses a major search criteria to look for everything across all the different databases that are common or have commonalities to what we're searching, and also looking for reference points where they touch each other, such as vehicles, vehicle descriptions, license plates, names of individuals we've had contact with, phone numbers that they might have given us, associates that they were with at the time. So what they've turned on for me that comes with the Flock OS includes things such as the analysis section. So in the monthly packet, you'll see there's a lot more detail. Currently, without the data, if I pull the number of license plate reads, it would just give me the total number of reads. So if you look on page 78 in your packet, as part of my monthly report, you see this one's got it's a lot more expanded. I only added one, but you can actually now go and you can pull individual vehicle volumes by intersection. That has an ALPR camera, much more beneficial, especially to the cities, as they're doing analysis looking for managing traffic flows and making changes to traffic signals, pedestrians, things like that, as far as the motor vehicle traffic that goes through. They also took away the unique reads. Unique reads used to be part of the basic analytical package. That's why last month there was no unique reads as part of it, because that's part of the analytics package that comes with the Flock OS. I have it back this month, so you can see this month there were 637 unique reads, but I can also now, I can pull unique reads by day of week, I can pull it by camera, I can pull it by any criteria that I want. So that's just another benefit of the Flock analytical package that comes. They've also expanded the ability to go and do research on the hot list, as well as the top 6 categories, which are the only 6 that we monitor, is part of Flock. On page, in your packet, page 84, you'll see something else that there's some administrative analytics. This is just one page that shows the number of ALPR cameras we have as compared to the rest of the state, the percentage of cameras in the state that we can access. So you can see in the Houston metropolitan area, we can access about 55% of all those. The number of average cameras per sworn officer is 1.1 compared to the average in the state, which is 0.43. The number of cameras per sworn officer in similar-sized agencies, which is 0.34, so you can see we're doing much better. And it also tells you, for in cases of cameras that have been installed that are in the area, if anybody's not sharing with you. And you can see that we have access to all of our partners, which is something that we would want to know exactly.
Chief, how can we have more than one per person? You kind of throw a car in there or something?
Yeah, it's including, because if you remember 2 years ago, we added the vehicles, so all of our vehicles act as ALPR cameras, so as they're driving around, they're reading license plates
Oh.
of vehicles that they're passing, overtaking, as well as parked vehicles. We did use that feature with this most recent burglary investigation. We've noticed that our officers were patrolling in those neighborhoods, so we were able to pull all the license plate reads of all the cars they passed as they went down Willow End and Willow Wick in Farnham Park. And then we pulled the files and we asked Peregrine to do an analysis to see if the officers passed any of the same vehicles in the different neighborhoods that were parked on the side of the road. So I think this shows the leverage of the computing power that exists with these types of technology. So that's why the numbers are higher, because those are all reading as well. And also they added what's called the zones feature. So I turned this on immediately as soon as we had access to it. Currently, when you go and you pull your cameras, it only grabs the public cameras. You have to go in and turn on each one of the individually owned neighborhood cameras. With zones, we can draw a geo circle, or I can pull them up independently by village, by each city, and it will do a search of not only the publicly owned cameras, but all the privately owned cameras as well. So we turned that on immediately, and it made all of our officers, now when there was a hit, they get the hit of not only the public cameras, but the private cameras, as well as when they do a search. You don't have to go in and start picking each one of the 34 privately owned cameras that are in the community. So that's pretty much what our map looks like there now. And the other thing that it does with the new system, when a hit comes in, and this is just a screenshot that I grabbed, it shows where the hit came in. On the map, it lights up that individual camera. And if there's a second hit from that same wanted or stolen vehicle, it will start mapping those on the map. So you can actually see the directionality of it. It also, in this one I've got our 2 live cameras turned on. Again, this is a still shot. It will have all the live cameras that we can set up around the perimeter. So if the vehicle is going southbound on Gessner, we could bring up the Gessner camera live to look for the vehicle that's passing through to notify the officers. When a hit comes in immediately, you can either just click on the click or on the spot, and it will automatically zoom in to where the hit came in, and it will give you a close-up view of the license plate and a view of the overall view of the vehicle, so you have a description, so you can see right away that if the plate's been comes back, it's on a black pickup truck that's stolen, it's on a little silver car, you know that the bad guy has changed the license plate. So another great tool to the addition of this, and then also it's changed. We can do a lot more work when it comes to the hits when they come in, and the volume again on page 86 is the volume by street, by camera. Again, this is valuable information for the city managers, they like it, as well as the number of hits and work by camera. One of the things we do is we continue review each one of the cameras to make sure that they're useful, that they're assisting us in investigations, that when they're actively working, but they're also providing a valuable resource for our detectives when an incident and a crime does occur within the area.
Chief, do all the cars have access? I mean, all the officers have that access to that?
Yes, and they also have access on their phones when they log into the system. If we were to adopt the Flock OS operating system, it will also bring into play, it will do an import from our CAD. So when a call comes in, it will show the location of the call on the map. It would pop up on the map where the call is with the address and the CAD number, and then that way the officers would know that they need to check these ALPR cameras, and the officer could very quickly just grab select, draw a circle around, and search those cameras if we know that we've had a crime occur and the suspect just left in a particular vehicle. The other thing this does too is the officers' vehicles would be imported. The vehicles would be live on the map, so we can see exactly where the police officers are at any given time. and subsequent, if the officer leaves his or her car and they have the app open on their phone, it will show the officer in the neighborhood as they move away from the car. So the officer's in the backyard of a house, or in the example this weekend of the burglars in the bayou, if the officer goes in the bayou, the dispatchers and other officers would be able to see exactly where the officer is at on the map by tuning into it and seeing their location. And so the CAD call, we alerts the officers, and the other thing we would get with the upgrade would be the freeform. So the freeform are the unique searches of the vehicles, so it goes back to the example they showed us last month. Someone writes on the back of the car, "Wash me," or "Take me home," or something like that. It would look for those vehicles that have those unique characteristics about it. So we have been given a proposed price for this. The price is included in your packet. Year one is $72,000. The second year would be $67,000. The other thing that this includes us adding into 8 partnership opportunities. So we've already been talking with some of the larger churches like Chapelwood, MDPC, St. Francis, Kincaid. They would build the interface to bring their outdoor cameras into this mapping system as well. So, which means if we were to have an event occur at Chapelwood, we would be able to, the cameras would be on the map, we'd be able to immediately open up the outdoor cameras, so our officers, firemen responding would be able to see exactly what's going on at the facility. Obviously, the cameras are fixed, but wherever the cameras are looking, they would have that accessibility. If the cameras are being controlled by the church, they would be able to see them if the cameras are moved to the PTC. So this would include 8 of those interfaces being built as part of this contract. So the other thing that's happened is, you remember back earlier in the year, you all authorized $50,000 for us to do a new voice recorder, because our voice recorder down in dispatch was being very unreliable, and we had gone to working with the vendor and trying to get that rectified. We were not having any luck. So you all authorized $50,000 that was approved for the budget to purchase a new voice recorder. The vendor since then, when he found out that we were looking at somebody else, got serious and aggressively went to attack and identify what the problem that we were having with the current voice recorder. What they found out is that when we had a piece of hardware that was malfunctioning, the hardware, there's a server on premises, and then it goes to a data box that sends it to the cloud where it's replicated. So we can work off of our on-site premise server in case the system goes down for immediate voice recall of 911 calls and radio transmissions. We found out that the piece of equipment had a defective piece of hardware, and it was configured wrong from the original technician who installed it. And the second technician who came out to troubleshoot it didn't recognize it either. The owner of the company brought in a technician that helped design the system from Nebraska. They put the new hardware in, they reconfigured it, and for the last 2 months we have not had a problem. So I do not need to spend that $50,000 now. So I've got $50,000.
I knew where this is going.
To make this happen. I would like to have this happen. I've spoke to the city managers. They said that they would support it, that it's a decision you all could make. I've talked to Victoria about it. We do not need depending on the timing of this, we would not need a complete budget amendment, just an adjustment, if we can do it with this fiscal year. If it goes into next year, then we have to do a budget adjustment or budget amendment to the FY26 budget. So that's saying a whole lot in a little bit of time, but I think this is an opportunity, especially as we're building out the Peregrine system that is grant funded for this first year. We will reapply to renew the Peregrine grant for 27. And in that 27 grant, I can and I will ask for the year 2 of this to be funded out of there. Victoria, did I say all that right?
Yes.
fast can they implement this?
They can implement it pretty quick.
I figured since you're already running it.
Right, so they've already turned on a bunch of what they can now. Obviously, they have to build some integration.
Okay.
Star Trek is our vehicle AVL locators. They would have to build that in. Peregrine has already built the gateway between Peregrine and Flock, so it would be a little bit more, and then they've also for them to do. But Peregrine has also built the gateway already with our CAD vendor, so Flock should be able to jump on that and use some of those same gateways to import our CAD data into this. So it's going to take a little bit of time to be built out, but it can be done. And so I would ask for approval for us to move forward and add the Flock OS enhanced. The other thing that I forgot to mention, it does add, in my notes here, it will give us the ability for the dispatcher to grab the clip of the 911 call and send it directly to the officer. The officer will be able to listen, the officer could actually listen to the 911 call. If the 911 call is still occurring live, they can feed it directly to the officer's vehicle. So the officer would be able to listen to the call and actually tell the dispatcher what other questions to ask. What do we need to know that's going on inside the house or inside the location of the incident? So there's even more than that the system can provide, but we are definitely excited about our large purchase, the overlay from the video systems that are out in the public space, and the additional search capabilities.
Are the schools included?
The schools are not. The schools have their own system, but if you remember last month we talked about the alert notifications do go to us as well as where in the school their alerts are. If we get, there's another project we're working on with Congressman Hunt to try to find some monies to connect all of the open and closed data sources within the Harris County law enforcement community. The ISDs would be a part of that, so this may eventually get brought in, but it's not part of this contract.
My second question, our approval tonight would just be for the 2 years.
Yes. So
And do you have any sense of what would happen after the 2 years? I mean, the technology is changing so quickly, I imagine there'll be something even newer and better that we'll need to.
Well, there is, and Commissioner, that's the reason why we originally went with Flock Safety for this piece of technology, because it's always evolving and updating, so changes don't have to happen when you do a major software rewrite and an upgrade. Upgrades get pushed out to us almost on a daily basis. So the system will continue to grow as we continue to try to leverage technology to provide for a safer environment for our officers and the residents. This kind of helps. It's the last piece that we really need to tie a lot of missing pieces together. We continue to have great success with our use of the ALPR tools in identifying suspects and criminals. We have identified a suspect vehicle in the most recent burglaries that was here, that was displaying a fake homemade license plate. And one of the other tools that is being developed by Flock that we would get access to as soon as it gets finished being developed is the same plates being seen on multiple vehicles so far apart that there's no way the vehicle could be seen and captured at location A and location B that are 10 miles apart, 3 minutes away from each other. They would know that one of those plates is a false plate or a fake plate. So those are all additional tools that we would get access to by having the enhanced operating system. And it puts everything on one pane of glass down in our dispatch center, like you see in front of you.
And do you know whether other entities, other governmental entities in the neighborhood are adopting this too, or will we be on the forefront of this in the Houston area?
We will not be the first. Humboldt's already got it. I believe Pearland just agreed to it. Sugarland is getting ready to do an implementation of this. So we're in the front half, but we're not the first one.
But they're happy with it?
Yes, everyone's been very happy. I saw a live demo of this in Atlanta, Georgia, and their dispatch uses this 100% of the time as their primary dispatch screen because of the CAD integration and overlay.
So may I, question on the term, it's a 2-year term with a renewal of another 2 years. Is it automatically renewed, or can we opt out after a certain period?
We can opt out on any contract with no funding, so you defund it, we can opt out in year 2 on this contract because it's not funded, and that's a requirement for all contracts.
Okay. And there's a second contract, I assume, that relates to another.
That's if we wanted to buy the Nova system. The Nova is basically what Peregrine does. I do not need that or want that at this time. I'm gonna go with Peregrine, it's already paid for with the grant, and it gives us more usability. Peregrine looks like it's gonna be the standard that Harris County is gonna probably adopt, and or HPD. Obviously, we want access to their data, and we need an intermediary software vendor to provide that, and I think it'll probably be, it'd either be Peregrine, or maybe Axon, their Fuchsia system is my guess, but not that we're not interested in Nova at this time.
We could be a fast follower on that.
Pardon me?
We can be a fast follower on seeing what the big boys.
Right, and obviously we would follow their lead, so if they decide to go with something else, then we would let Peregrine go and go with whoever we have access to the data. If it's Nova, but I don't think it's gonna be Nova. And I'll show you some of the Peregrine stuff that I've been playing with just in the last week and here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chief. Well, I think, does anybody have any more comments? I have one comment, which is, I'm happy that you're always fiscally responsible. I do view this as two separate things, certainly. Like, if this is something we want and we want now, let's approve that separately than the $50,000 being extra from not doing the voice recorder, not having to do the.
The reason why I mention that is there's, and as Victoria said, one, there's capacity in the budget
Right.
from salary savings thus far, but there's actually money put aside for IT technology, that being the voice recorder system. So we're not spending
Same
that money
bucket.
because, and as I said when we did that presentation, is I needed leverage. I got the leverage I needed when they found out that we had funding and we were probably going to go with somebody else, and they came to the table and fixed it.
Excellent work. Are you, and you're satisfied with where we are on that? I mean, that's crucial.
That's why we waited a couple
Right.
months to make sure, and Commander Jones has not had to, he was on their help desk on a regular daily basis, trying to find problems and issues, and since it's been fixed, everything's working the way it's supposed to.
So the action item would be to approve this order and approve funding for year 1 in the amount of $72,650. Am I correct?
Sounds like a motion.
So moved.
And is that a budget amendment, or is it are we just using the funds that are available? I didn't really understand how that resolved.
Victoria, can you explain it better?
So, based on the way the contract is worded, it says the first payment is due upon signature. So I'm hopeful that we can charge the first year to 2025 budget. If you guys approve it, I was gonna double check with the auditor because it could go two ways. They could because it's like a 24-month contract, they could say that I can only charge 1 month to 2025 and the rest has to go to 2026 because that's how it goes in government accounting. But because it specifically says the year 1 is due upon contract signing, I feel confident that we can charge it to 2025. There's going to be a budget amendment before we close the fiscal year just to true up, but we don't need additional funding from the villages. So it's not a budget amendment where we have to request, but it's a budget amendment to make sure our line items are all in the black instead of like the red line items that you see. So, but we won't need additional funding.
Great, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So what I understood Jim's motion to be is the approval of year 1 funding only. Is that right? question?
And to execute the order.
Don't we need to approve the second year?
Well, then we have to approve the contract, and that is both
Yeah.
years,
Why
even if
would
we
you
have a
approve
way
the
out.
contract by implication, you approve year one funding and year two?
Okay.
Which will have to be built
Continue to
into the
carry out.
27 budget when we
Right,
build it.
right.
So we're approving the order count. Okay.
I think it's been moved, has it?
I second.
Oh, perfect. So it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the work.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you all. And you all will see this pay off, I guarantee. So the next item is, we had a motor vehicle accident happen, last week with one of our officers. And I wanted to include this because this also talks about technology. So as we build out technology, and obviously we have the in-car video cameras in all of our vehicles. As I mentioned earlier, they're reading license plates as vehicles that we pass and that pass us, so on patrol. So it's helping create an inventory. They need to go back and do an investigation in the area that we happen to be going through. But this is a case, the officer was involved in an accident. She did not turn her camera on. The camera is into the vehicle, so as soon as it detected unusual movement in the vehicle, it turned the camera on, and because it's always running, it has a 30-second pre-buffer in it. So you're gonna watch the first 30 seconds before the accident occurs, and then as soon as the accident occurs, the camera's still running, but then the microphone turns on, so you're gonna hear her first comments.
What street is this?
This is Vinehorn approaching Pine Point Road, heading westbound. This officer is 100% at fault. They'll be disciplined as a result of this. And I'll let you watch it and you can tell me what you think happened.
Raining.
Yes.
Wow.
I know a girl that.
Okay.
432.
Good.
I'm under control. I was just involved in a fleet. Bindhorn. Stand by. I think I see one of our units.
So, yeah.
So,
But I mean, just, I show that because, again, that's a huge value to us to protect,
Yeah.
obviously, the community, protect the officer. In this particular case, we know exactly what happened, and the officer.
was there braking involved? Or, like, was
Yeah.
she planning on running through that stop sign and then just slid because of the,
No, she admitted that she fell asleep.
oh, she fell asleep?
Oh my God.
Maybe that's more appropriate to discuss in the,
Well, no, I mean, it's public,
Yeah.
it's public information. We're not talking about the case, but I just wanted to show you the value added of the technology. That's exactly what that's all about.
What time of day was it?
5:45 a.m.
I'm sorry?
5:45 a.m.
Do we look at the, I don't know what you call them, in planes you call them black boxes, the cars have those now. Did we grab that?
We did not, because we have our AVL, so we know exactly what the speeds were and everything else.
Okay.
So, and we know the history, because we have a breadcrumb. So, just to show the value added of the technology, that's why we make these investments.
thank you, Chief.
One of our new Tahoes, wasn't it?
No. It's not legal.
So
Did the airbag deploy?
what was the accident with another vehicle or what?
No, the
magnatory?
No.
Okay. She have a seatbelt on?
Yes.
I didn't know he was hurt.
She all right?
Physically.
So next item, going back to technology and Peregrine. So this is just us playing with a little bit of some of the things we can do. So in this particular screen, I just went ahead and grabbed alarm calls. So I did alarm calls for a 7-day period. And what you can see is very quickly you can start identifying when there's more than one alarm at a particular address. But it also tells you the officers that took each one of the alarms, obviously the false alarms, the status, and this is cut off here on the screen, but you know how many of them were canceled prior to us actually getting there, and then the addresses of all the false alarms. So the good thing about the Peregrine, it's got an investigative tool, but it has a huge administrative tool component as well. You can also do, this is house watches. So it shows you, I did a 30-day period here. These are all the house watches that have happened over a 30-day period, and you can see some of them, you see numbers like, it's hard to see, but like 14 or 15. That's how many times the officers actually went to that house when it was under a house watch. Some of them may have only been on a house watch for a couple days, some may have been on a house watch for a week, which means the officers were there twice a day. But you can also very, very quickly see that, like Officer Ortega, she did 93 of the house watches. Officer Valdez did 79. So it gives you a lot of, out of 496.
Why are some of them outside of the boundary of the villages?
Because this actually dropped some traffic stops. So this actually has more, but the main thing that I was looking at were the house watches. So you can see there's some traffic stops on here as well. It's kind of hard, but there's actually a little bit different of a symbol inside.
Yeah.
So I can go in and actually, I haven't done it because we've only had this operational for a little bit more than a week. I can actually have each one of these be a different color. But then you can also go back and you can pull on the cases, if a case has been pulled. So some of the traffic stops, that's what these are. There's like DWIRS, or we've towed a vehicle. If I click on the case number, and this is just a screenshot, it automatically brings up the police report. I don't have to log into another system. And if there's a body-worn camera video, it brings up the body-worn camera video already in queue on the screen, and you click on it, and it plays it instantly for you. So you don't have to log out and log into the Axon system.
Is Peregrine, they've got this, are they anticipating growing into the flock into flock space on
they're
motion
a
cameras?
data aggregate.
Okay. But Flock is trying to play in their space.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And you think that they're going to win out? Like, I know if Harris County, for instance, went with Flock, where does that leave us with Peregrine?
well, we've got it already. It's going to be a while before Harris County. So HPD is not going to do anything because they're building a whole new CAT RMS ARS. So it's probably at least a year build-out project. So it's either going to be Harris County or DPS, one of the two, that's probably looking at this. And it's going to be a while because we're looking at congressional funding.
Right.
So it's probably at least a year build-out. But there's other folks that are in the Peregrine space and looking at that. But this, as we get more used to this, and they're still building and importing data, it's going to it'll be a big game changer for us to help our detectives, give them much more leads. And then there's other things you can build out. You can build out what are called spider charts. So if I'm looking up for information on Billy Murphy, and it'll check all the databases, and it'll look for like phone numbers that are associated with you. For us to help us create leads or make contacts and things like that. So just another great tool that we're very excited to have as part of our investigative toolbox. Not on that one yet. The next one is the Senate Bill 224 grant update. We're getting ready to finish up the first quarter. So part of the first quarter, we'll be doing a report on the Peregrine build-out that is in progress. The other part is adding the additional ALPR cameras. So there's 9 ALPR cameras as part of that SB 224. Of the 9, 7 have been installed. The cameras, the power has not been hooked up to those yet. They're trying to get one more hooked up so the electrician can come out and hook them all up at one time, just go through each one of the cameras. The 9th camera is a solar application at Boss and Beinhorn. So the solar camera will not be here till sometime in January. And then the last component of that is the web page for investigators to share information on open cases. That is being finalized this week as well and should go operational in about a week. So we're on time for expenditures of the grant, and as soon as we get an invoice for the Peregrine, we will pay it and we'll submit the bill to the state, and that will be reimbursed to us through the city of Bunker Hill. So Bunker Hill is the partner in that grant. So that continues to move forward.
We have to update the state on where we are on all these.
Yes. So we do that quarterly. We also have to attend a monthly meeting virtually online. We've attended every one of those. And as well as last month, I went over the TAC plan and the operations plan with you all. That was submitted and accepted by the state as well for using the grant monies.
All right.
Personnel staffing updates, just briefly. We've had some officers, 2 officers thus far, present notice of intent to leave the organization. They've been offered employment with Homeland Security and Investigations, HSI, working either with Customs and Immigration Enforcement and or the Border Patrol. Because of the grant monies that are out there, we've had 2 officers thus far. We've had a third one who's been given an offer, so he'll probably be leaving as well, and we're hearing of at least one more. It's looking at going because of they're being offered 4-year contracts with a $50,000 hiring bonus.
How much more in annual pay beyond the bonus?
The annual pay is actually a decrease, but there's so much overtime that it passes that by. But with a 4-year contract. So we'll talk about that more in the executive session. Just want to let you know that we have been working out at Victoria as well. It's just been looking at some numbers, so we have an idea of what kind of effect it's going to have on us. And it's not the only one. I was in a meeting today earlier. Tomball has the same thing. They've got 2 officers thus far already. One is already gone. One's leaving next week, and they've got 2 more that are in the process as well. One of the ISDs has had multiple people leaving as well. It's just because of the push and those federal dollars that are out there right now. So something that we're all watching very, very closely.
Disappointing. Not surprised.
Monthly report for the month of November. Starting off, calls for service, 6,100 calls, 3,300 house watches, 1,165 traffic stops, resulting in 1,090 citations that address 1,795 violations. Top violation continues to be folks driving around with no registration on their cars. Speeding, we wrote 357 citations. A lot of the folks that don't have registrations. And when I say not registrations, we're seeing cars that have not been registered in 5, 6, or 7 years or more. And of course, most of those vehicles don't have insurance either, and being operated by somebody that does not have a driver's license. When I say no driver's license,
Ouch.
it means they don't have one on them. It means they do not have a driver's license.
Wow.
Period.
So are we just issuing tickets? And that's it?
Citations, and the vehicle gets towed.
Does get.
Because we can't in good conscience let them drive on a vehicle when they have no driver's license, no registration, and no insurance.
These are the same folks that if you get in a car accident with them, they sue you for some sort of injury. I mean, I'm in a lawsuit with my son right now, and the person, couldn't even find a driver's license on him, but it doesn't matter.
There's also an increase in the failure to stop and get information post-accident. And again, that's where the ALPRs are very handy to help us identify who those suspects are when they flee the scene. And we continue to see those happen on a regular basis. Calls for service for each one of the villages is there. We had 11 accidents occur. Emergency response times, we had 16 emergency events that are priority ones. Response time to those from time of first ring to officer on scene was 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Top calls for service, false alarms continue to be one of the top calls. Construction checks, we continue to go out and aggressively check the houses under construction. There were over 440 of those conducted last month. 87 calls for suspicious situations occurring. 27 ordinance violations. Officers wrote 109 police reports. 32 in Bunker Hill, 32 in Piney Point, 37 in Hunters Creek. 6 of them were in Houston. Again, those have been traffic stops, DWIs. When they actually stopped, they were in the city of Houston, but the violation occurred here. 1 in Hedwig and 1 in Spring Valley. We assist them when it comes to fleet accident investigations. Our officer who was involved in the accident, that police report was investigated by Hedwig. So there's no conflict of interest. We have Hedwig come and do the investigation. We do the same thing for the other agencies. Just so it's a fresh set of eyes doing the investigation. 1 crimes against person. There was an assault. 10 crimes against property. There were 98 quality of life events. We arrested 36 individuals. 23 warrants, 8 for class 3 arrests, 4 DWI arrests, we already talked about the Officer Silliman. On the other side of the coin, Officer Silliman has submitted his return to work. Letter from his doctor clearing him from long-term disability. Says that he will be clear as of the 29th of December. So we're in a process now of getting him set up through our doctor to confirm his fit for duty due to physical injuries. That will occur here sometime in the next 2 weeks. Officers and dispatchers, their annual bids have occurred. Shift changes will take place in the beginning of January. Commander Baker will probably talk a little bit about that a little bit more himself. Another way this ALPR system can be very beneficial. On the 17th of November, we received a call of a male. The call came from a passerby. He said the male was pushing a bicycle and she felt that he had stolen the bicycle from Frostwood Elementary School. So this male actually was pushing 3 bicycles down the street. So officers went out there. I actually went there as well because it was right here at the corner. Got there pretty quickly, and the guy said, "No, I did not take those bikes from the school. I had bought them." He's a dealer in bikes, and he bought them from a guy down on Westheimer, and he had taken the bus and gotten off the bus and was transferring buses, and he brought the bikes off the bus, and he just happened to go up in front of the school in order to cross Gessner. So we didn't know exactly what we had. We ran the VIN numbers, or the serial numbers on the bikes. One of the bikes actually came back stolen from a Spring Branch ISD school, but not from Frostwood. The witness, she did not come back to the scene. We didn't know exactly what we had, but we were able to use the ALPR system and the camera, the Condor camera. While we were out there, Commander Baker was here at the station. He was able to review the Condor and was able to see the man get off the bus, walk across the street with the bikes already in his possession. So he actually thought it was kind of neat. At first he thought we were hassling him, but we told him what we had, but that we were able to actually verify his story. And we were able to call back the person who called us to say, no, that he did not steal those bikes, that he actually had those with him. So again, it shows that we can use these tools to help avoid a situation and clear somebody. Thanksgiving weekend, we had a couple burglaries. I'm going to talk about those in just a second. We've had 2 more last Thursday. We don't think they're all tied together, but this is a group of organized burglars that are committing these crimes. And we'll show you a video of those in just a second. As I said, a couple of RAD events last month. We hosted the state RAD instructor refresher training, and then we did an advanced RAD instructor training class that Priscilla was involved in. We added 18 new registrations to V-Link, and in the rest of the packet you'll just see the regular reports. year-to-date crime stats, committed times, ALPR recoveries, and then the maps of where crimes have occurred and where we've recovered stolen vehicles from. The next thing I just want to show you real quickly is these are, again, we're very fortunate. We've got residents who have good cameras. This is one of the burglars that was involved in the burglary of one of our properties.
Is it possible for you to share your screen? Because I wasn't able to see the video the last time.
Oh, I thought I had
If it's a problem, it's not a big deal.
No, I had it set for share. Let me go back. Can you see that?
Again, yes.
Okay.
Not sure what it is, but I can see it.
That's a burglar.
That is, yes.
Again. She didn't recognize it?
Loco. Ven, ayúdame, sábame, Tony. Sábame, Tony. Ven, ayuda. Mira, cabrón. Mira, mira.
So see, as soon as they see the camera, they turn it off and turn it. So detectives are working on this case. This crew's been involved in at least 2 of the burglaries. Yes. So in Farnham Park.
Was this the gated side of Farm Park or the other side? I mean,
all of it. They came across the bayou. So.
What language were they speaking?
Spanish, but we believe it's a dialect from very far South America.
Okay.
So, stop that. We'll go back to that, and I'll let Commander Baker follow up with a patrol report and police office.
So she did talk about, we did have the burglaries for this month, but it's not for a lack of the patrol officers out there being proactive on the things. Again, some of the videos that show that it's definitely a transnational crew that are being our burglars because of the other cities that are working the crew. So hopefully one of the cities has made an arrest. Talked to Sherney today, Detective Sherney, and he does believe that it could be a possible lead into one of ours, but it's unknown. Again, multiple cities are working these crews. So talk about the shift bids. We did do our shift bids. Probably won't do too much changes in patrol in the first week of January due to the possibility of having some resignations. So there's not really any point of moving people and then having to remove them again. So we did select the corporals last month. The corporals were approved for the 2026 budget. If you all remember, that's the corporals that were going to replace our officers in charges. So those 4 people have been selected, and they will move with the supervisors in January. But until we actually get a final count of how many people are actually going to leave, or if not leave, then we'll probably wait for the movement on the shift schedules. Again, right now, as the chief talked about, we do have 2 that have officially submitted their intent to leave. They get sworn in to HSI on December 29th. But again, we overfilled on one of the positions for Officer Taylor's position. So with Officer Taylor being cleared to come back on duty, once we get all that, technically we'll at this point only have 1 vacancy. Everyone follow that because we overfilled 1, got 2 leaving. So one of the officers should know something by this week. If he was selected, he's going on a different route for the HSI. He is going on the criminal investigations, which is a little bit different. I think what's happening is that on the swearing-in date on December 29th, there's a push so that the administration can come out on the first week of January or the second week of January and report to the public about how many people they officially hired for HSI for the big beautiful bill that was passed. District Attorney's Office, I know we talked about last month about conversations with some cities and the mayors meeting with the District Attorney's Office. So for the month of November, we had 3 cases that were dismissed for the DA's office. So 3 in disposition and 3 dismissed for 100% dismissal rate. That still gives us a 90% year-to-date dismissal. Chief had talked about maybe there was some rumors that Spring Valley were saying that they don't have the dismissal rate. I did run him the report last month from those cities. So then again, I attached another report for those cities this month. So just for example, Spring Valley for the month of, and a printed low. So Hedwig had four cases disposed of, 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. 3 were dismissed and 1 got probation. So that's a 75% dismissal rate. Spring Valley had 4 cases disposed of, 3 felonies and 1 misdemeanor, all dismissed for 100% dismissal rate. Again, this data that I can't get their whole year data. The way that the DA does their dispositions is that they only do it for, so the month, this December, I can only pull November. Once January hits, then only December's data is. So I just kind of wanted to show a comparison because I know the historical data when I do look at the cities before I get to our dispositions is that most cities in the Harris County area are running at about a 90% dismissal rate. So I just wanted to send that out there, and I did leave their case numbers in case their cities wanted the data that they can look into it. I did look at a couple of theirs. And again, it's the same thing that we talk about. Their dismissal rates are due to the fact that their criminals have pled guilty into another case, and so they did dismiss theirs. We did have, I don't know if the chief talked about last month, the investigation that we had for the ALPR on the tailgate theft. I know he put it in a V-Link, but we were alerted to a tailgate theft. Suspects that was shared from another city. Officers located the vehicle. Also learned that that vehicle was following a truck. We made traffic stops based on probable cause for no front license plates on both of the vehicles. Officers approached the truck and realized that they had a stolen tailgate in the back of the truck that was from another citizen in the Houston area. Did outstanding work by our night shift to be able to accept charges on the 2 people that were in the vehicle, all to get a no probable cause for the passenger the next day. Again, just shows how outstanding our officers are on a case that didn't happen in the villages. Our officers learned of that no probable cause, because it's not a dismissal, went back into the area where the tailgate was stolen from and got updates on neighbors' cameras that showed all 3 people. So again, the vehicle that was occupied one time following the truck, to see them all parked on the same street and all 3 of them get out to steal the tailgate. So they refiled the case, and so those people will be held responsible for it. So great work on our night shift people, but again, just showing how diligent that our officers are, even if it's not affecting our things. Our communities. So word hopefully spreads out to that crew, because typically tailgate theft crews are almost like burglaries. Is there a opportunist people that will come out and strike a neighborhood or anything like that? So hopefully they will not be coming to the village area, knowing that we do have the technology and our officers that will continue to investigate them. And she sent an outstanding kudos to those people, because they should be recommended again for their hard work and taking those people and holding them accountable. But for a patrol report, that's all I have.
Awesome. So that particular case, the ALPR hit our cameras, and they were hitting cameras in the city of Houston because of our jurisdictional lines intermingle so much. So the officers, they could have just turned around when they hit the city of Houston, and they didn't. They kept looking for them because the vehicle kept hitting in different ALPRs, and were able to identify that they were in tandem. So one was obviously a lookout or a blocker. Should there be an interference? And of course, a tailgate on a pickup truck is about $2,000 to replace it, and they were able to recover it. The victim didn't even know he had been a victim until we knocked on his door, woke him up, tell him that we think we've got something that belongs to you.
Great work. Commander, I have a quick question for you, if it's all right to proceed. In the shift bidding, did anybody actually go from day shift to night shift?
One person,
All right.
and, yeah, well, he was the corporal, but he did score number one on the corporal test, so that's how we did the seniority for the corporals, is that based on their scoring in the assessment center, just like we do for the sergeant's exam, promotional exam, is how you score there is there. So one person did go, but at the same time, the number 4 on a corporal list did not go to day shift, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
they withdrew out of the corporal selection because they didn't want to move to day shift because of the money that was on night shift. So I guess it's a 1-for-1.
Interesting. Okay. Good data point. Anybody have anything else? I assume we have an executive session this evening.
We do.
So the time is 7:07, and under Texas Government Code, Chapter 550,